Okay, hi, welcome to today's tutorial. So today's tutorial will be more of a replication. And first of all, before I go any forward, I would like to make a shout out to whoever did this, and also to the church that actually did this. I actually love the concept and I love how it's been done. So I'm just going to go through it. It's going to be in two parts. The first part is going to be me analyzing the designs and actually giving a breakdown of the concept. I am not the designer. I don't actually have initial thoughts of the designer, but I could, from my little experience or from my experience, um, I can, from my experience, give a draw kind of an inspiration from it to see how the thoughts or to analyze how the designer is thinking. So without wasting your time, let's go straight into it. So I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to draw over it, ensure that the stroke is white so that when I draw it's able to be very visible compared. Yeah, good. So now there are about seven principles when designing, and it doesn't mean that you need to apply all the principles. You just need to apply basically three principles. That's three main major principles, which is hierarchy, contrast, and balance. It's the three major principles that needs to be applied in any design. You can skip some of the rest of the seven, but ensure that the three do exist in your design. Hierarchy, contrast, and balance. You cannot design a very appealing design without, or come about a very appealing design without following through those principles. So I'm going to identify where those principles have been applied here and how you can actually replicate it in your own design. So for the pencil, so I have my pencil already here. So once you open the design for the first time, or probably view the design for the first time, the first thing that gets your attention is this part. That's the 5 hours presence, and that's like the major cap there. Then followed by the image right over here, and the next. Because the reason why your eye might not go to this one next is because they are divided into four parts. So you have like four different sections in that particular section. So the reason why I say I love this the application of this design is because it's been broken into different sections. They are being grouped, so they are harmonized. Like a particular part is being harmonized with its own text or with its own elements to ensure that it actually works much better or it works well. And when your eyes is moving, it moves from here, moves to here, then to here, then sorry, from here to here, then from there comes down to this side, then it moves to probably here. I'm sorry, that will be the last part, then moves to this down part here because this is like a section of this part. So that's how your eyes will actually move if you're viewing it for the very first time. So that's how beautiful it is. Like you know what you are looking at and where you are looking at and where everything is being placed. They are placed strategically for your viewing and for you to follow that pattern. So most of the designs you do see designs most times, and if you want to design, try and as much as possible to ensure that you have your elements moving in an S format. Like you could have the main hierarchy here, or the biggest or the most important context content here, or you could also reverse the S in this case, but just ensure that it's moving in the Z or an S format. So it moves from here, it then moves down to this part, then it moves to this part, then it moves to this part. So your eyes work in such a way like that because it's much better for and not too straining when somebody is viewing your designs for the first time or is viewing your designs and is seeing. It actually helps the person to communicate. So it's from here to here to here, then you can take it up, but you ensure that the Z, that curve is usually there. You understand? There's actually a curve that is usually there. If you want, you could also put it like this, so it still works well. So it depends on what you are trying to apply. But what is the main thing that I actually got from this whole concept is the way it's been grouped in, and it's the way it's been balanced. Like, you could also divide it into 4 most times to check if your designs are balanced. So we have covered about hierarchy. Now we are going to talk about balance. Now, if you see where it's been applied very well here, for the balance, if you divide your designs or divide your artboard into 4 parts, you could see that it sits very well in this case. Now, in this, for the horizontal balance, it's equal and it's balanced very well. But when it comes to the vertical, that's when you begin to apply something like grid. You have to divide it into 3 parts. So let me draw. So there's like the grid into 3 parts. Then we have one section having some of the contents, then the next section having a particular part of the content. So they are grouped, harmonized within this space as so. Then a different content is here is also harmonized. So you can have your designs also played, or you can play with your designs, or the way you grouped your designs or balance your designs in such manner too, it works very, very well. And I think that's all. Then we also have some little bit of distraction here. So I said we have contrast, hierarchy, and stuff. So contrast is just there. It's straightforward. You have a dark background, or then you use a bright element or a bright font, or something like that, to create contrast between one element to the other element, or object to the other object. So that contrast also means there. And also we have contrast in this case, where we have one image is bigger than the other image. So if you group them in this part, you find that this one is bigger than, so this has more contrast by shape or contrast by size instead. Then there's also contrast by shape. So all those ones also apply in such context. And so we have some other distractions here. Those ones are just to add a little bit of spice in those cases. Those ones you can also apply it. But I think everything here is just straightforward, and I might just need to probably run through it just a little bit quick, so don't actually waste time seeing and trying to create something that is as simple as this. I think where we have to create this our own self, even if it doesn't come out exact, but at least it should be as close as possible. So everything here we are going to create from scratch to finish. So I'm going to bring my artboard closer so I'll be able to start the whole process. Okay, so let's start design. So I got some images that I got from Pinterest, and I will just be using those ones to do applications as quick as possible. So let's get into it. So I do not know exactly what font is used here, but I will try as much as possible to use fonts that are much closer to those ones there. So I scaled that up. I'm using Satoshi in this case. I think it's much closer compared to the rest of the fonts. Yes, I think it's closer. It's just that it's not that bold as you might want it to be. So we're going to cut this part. We have that. We just duplicate this, then we paste the one we have there, and you make it smaller, like so, like that. Good. And like that. So zoom in. Let's keep it like this. Then we change this one to white, and then we have this to something. We can use the eyedropper tool, this guy, to have that color selected out. We could also draw our background, so we have our image, our texts and our characters to pop out there. Yep. So I think there's no pattern or anything at the background there. Send that to the back. And what we need to do here is to make the two of them outline. So right click after selecting two of them and making an outline. So you see where that cut is going to be. Then what we do is we'll go to the shape builder tool here, and then we can be able to cut this part. Or if instead you want that to be like so, let's zoom in, and then we select this part. We increase the stroke a little bit. Then we also go to object, we go to expand, and we expand it. So we have a different one here. I think we can expand that again. Okay, no, I think that's okay. So we select the two of them, we go to the shape builder tool there, and we can see this part cut here. So what we need to do is that we hold on our Alt key and click, and also click in this part here. So we have that cut. If you want to go even more, like so, and like so. So we also will have these two colors combined together. And how do we do that? We select our color, ensure our color has been selected here. You can change this one to white later on. Send it to the back. Good. So we have that replicated here. Now what they did is they increased the stroke of this to make it more thicker, but because of our font is not too bold or it's not too thick, so we'll just stick with this what we have here. So what we can do is to reduce the spaces between them, and then also reduce this one here so it stays stays on the like so. Push it in, and then we also scale this up a little bit like so. We'll click back, and I noticed that it's more slant. We'll group this, ensure that they are grouped and they are one. There we could go into this called the free transform. The free transform, well, that's what we're going to be using to make it more slant. So when you click on this free transform, you can just click and drag, hold on the shift key so it moves in a straight line, and there's it. We have that there. So this is very simple. There is nothing there. All we just need to do is draw a shape here like so, balance there. Go click on this part, just click on it first, then now you click and drag so it gives you that curve right over there. And we'll be using the color red, selecting that, and also in his, and choose white to that. Reduce it and place it there. Reduce the spaces in between them. Right, the spaces, that's the leading, yes, the lead space between it. You could balance it like this, like so. Then you bring it closer, and like so. So we're moving forward. I think it's bigger than normal. Could also reduce it like that, and then you should get and call this presence. I don't know why it's black. It should be white. And also make that just italic. I think italic is okay. So if you notice, it's not as slant as it is, or it's not as italic as it is, you could just hold on. Make sure you're holding on your shift while you slant it like that. Then now this is very straightforward. All you need to do is use your pen tool. You click on here, you click on here, you click just a little bit slant like that, and more slant here, and you should continue to the end there. You remove your fill, you increase your stroke, and you are done with that over here. Like so. Good. So in case probably it's too slant like that, you could go to direct selection tool here, and then you click on this and click and you drag small, and that's how it is. Okay, so we could use it. Good. So now we are going to just have this, then we can continue. So this will be open, and then bring it up, bring it here, up, and then I think they form a unison between the up. So it has to be small letter U, and then bring it here, like so. You could scale them up and then make it bigger, keep it here. Then we have that connection. So that one, you just use the curvature tool in this case. So let's zoom in so we have more accuracy. So pick from here, click from here. So remove it, ensure this is turned off. Sorry, off. Then increase the stroke. Remove it there. So where did we pick here? From the O to the U. We have from the O, click here to the U. Good. So have that. So then we like to introduce, I think it's 2 thing. Could make it 2. Also you make it 2 here. Yeah, so in that case, good. So now let's try to do the rest and jump into it. So this is just having, I will just do this one here, then we can just speed up the whole process in this case. So we have this rounded rectangle here. We draw our shape in such case, and then we just pick our image. So we just pick our image, and then we'll just draw and put it like so. So now to crop it, all you just need to do is send it to the back of it. Then you select the 2 of them, right click and make clipping mask, like so. Place that in the center. Good. Now to make it more easier for you, you can just click and duplicate. So hold on your Alt and Shift, make it move in a straight line and duplicate. You do the same thing here. You duplicate it, select 2 of them, you duplicate the same thing there, just to have it more easy for you. So what you just need to do is that you click on it, you go into link. So if you don't see link, you go to Windows, you scroll down, then you see link, and so once selected like this, you can just relink and click on relink, select the next picture you want to add there, and then adjust it in such a way. You click on this, you relink, you select the next one, you do the same rearrangement to just so like it sits well. You click on this too, you relink, and you get the whole gist. So now we have this so far, and you can begin to add the rest of the other details. I think the rest of the other details are just very simple and straightforward here in this case. So we do have those ones are the names and other things, and then probably 5,000 is present, 5,000 is present, and in such way, good. Just have them. Let me just speed up the whole tutorials and not waste your time with everything. Okay, now so far so good. We have come to this part, and I think this is where we actually have to introduce this part and then see how we just wrap up the design. So good. So what I think was done here is using the mesh tool, creating a regular shape, then using the mesh tool and applying some very technical gradients Let me show you what I think was done here. I might do something close to that. So I go to the curvature tool, just draw an irregular shape. Doesn't have to be as precise as this, just have the idea what I made there. So we introduce the mesh, and we can just select a bright color for this case, and I want to pick out most of the colors here. So I'll just create some shapes so that I have my colors distributed around that part. So this, I will make a duplicate of about 7, I think. So I will choose this one, and I will say let's go with this color here, and use the eyedropper tool, that's this guy here, or the eyedropper tool, and select this part, select this one, select this part, this, that, this, maybe something like that, this, and then maybe something like that, send them this, and something else. Yeah, so I just picked 7 colors. You could pick 4. I think it's just 4 major colors that we have here. So let's just pick this one as our main guy. Now we're going to introduce this guy called the mesh tool. Once you click, it creates a point and it introduces other points around it and activates other anchor points around it. If you want, you could add another one here. It might make it more complex. So the more you add, the more complex it becomes. So I think adding one here, and you could let's see if we could add, yes, another one there. Yeah, in such case. So I think this is good. So what we do now is begin to change the colors at the edge. So at the edge here, I think what was done is that the opacity of it was reduced to about 0 to 0. So let's do the same. We will choose that case, reduce the opacity to 0, and then also do the same thing, reduce the opacity. So for all the edges, or for most edges, or for most of the edges, you reduce your opacity to 0, or instead you could just click on one of the points at the edge. So in this case, we could click on that and decide to change it to one of the colors that we have here. I think if we choose this part, so it's going to have that, and so it's almost similar to what we were trying to do. So ensure you choose the mesh. You go back, you could choose something different. And reduce that there, and then choose this too. You also reduce it here, and do the same thing. So now here we are going to choose the color, bright color here. Then we'll also if we want to create some complex, crazy things like this, could apply such technique in such case. Then now in this part, we are going to apply something called the blur effect. If you don't see effects here, you go to effects up there and you see the same thing that you're seeing here. So blur, without blur, and we could spin it, or we could zoom into it. So let's zoom into it and see if that effect will be applied. So it's very subtle, it's not too shouty. We could increase the intensity of it. Close to, we could duplicate. So when you duplicate, you hold on Alt to shift a little bit. If you want to say Control C, Control F, and well, sometimes it does the same stuff like this, but you could restore it. So back to presentation mode. Sorry, that's not what I meant. So this is okay, it's back. So we come back to this Control C. You could go to edit, and you see paste in front, Control F. So to paste in front, so it makes it more brighter there. You could blend it. You go to opacity, you go to menu, you could add soft lights and see how it looks. You could add overlay and see how it looks. Make it screen to see how it looks. So it's just you trying different things to see if you can have that combination. But I think screen is much better. And then now for this case, for the radar blur here, we could change it to spin and just watch how it does. Yeah, good. So we're having what we want there in this case. Good. Just try to group them so they'd be like that. Like this. We could paste Ctrl C and Ctrl F. So sometimes you might do that. So just go Ctrl F here. That's to paste in front, and you have that case. You could also rotate. Do the same thing here. So what I actually noticed about his and mine is that his is more solid and compared to mine that is a little bit more transparent or not too solid. So you can try different techniques, but I'm showing you something that is more similar to it. But I think it's a shape he actually got online and then just applied a blur effect to it, a motion blur effect to it, and then worked very well for him. So you can also do that too, but I'm showing you how to create yours from scratch. So you could also make different methods you could apply and different practices you could apply. So this is the end of the tutorials. I think just add this guy to say 5 p.m. and zoom into it. So bring it here and then position it like that. Yeah, so this is the end of the tutorials. Thank you guys for watching. So this is the end of the tutorials. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.